All right, Jose. So one of the breaking news stories in the last couple days is what PJ, the owner of PJ Braun, the owner of Blackstone Labs, decided to post his personal opinions on his Instagram, and offended a lot of athletes, a lot of African American athletes. One of them being his own, I guess, employee, an athlete under contract, really rising star, Keone Pearson, who just switched from classic physique to 212, has a bright future in 212. And Keon very respectfully made a video, didn't bash PJ, and just said, we have a difference of views here, and I can no longer be a part of Blackstone Labs. I thank them for their support, and I thank PJ for coaching me for the last year, but I'm also going to move on to a new coach. So I want to get your thoughts on everything that transpired there.
Wow. Very unfortunate. So I have two views on it. One, I commend them both for, I know this comes off weird, but hear me out. I commend them both for sticking to their guns. Like there were thousands of comments saying, PJ, what are you, an idiot? Take this down. And I didn't comment, but those were my thoughts immediately. As a CEO or the boss, the face of the company, because he's not like a silent partner or a silent guy. He's front and center of everything. So everyone knows who he is. And he just should not have done that. He should not have made that comment, even if it's 100% how he feels, what he believes. I think he should do the minimal amount of social media in his position. That's why you hire all these people. That's why you have Keone. That's why you have all these other athletes. Let them do the social media. That way, if something bad or super controversial happens, you can point a finger at them or get rid of them or whatever the case be. But at least it doesn't paint a picture that this entire company stems from this guy, this thought, this belief system, this racist or whatever. I don't believe he's racist. I believe he gets caught up in his opinion and can't control himself sometimes and just posts. It was a bad call. He shouldn't have done that. Particularly knowing how it could affect some of his athletes, and how they might feel. And now you can't say he didn't know that was going to piss some people off. Because if he didn't, then he's stupid. I don't believe he's stupid. I believe he's nuts. He's human. He makes mistakes. But here's the thing: he doubled down on it. He didn't back off. He didn't. You could read from his tone, he was kind of trying to explain himself to people, and nobody was buying it. And he was kind of backpedaling, but not backpedaling. And he just made it worse by doubling down on it and keeping it going. Didn't delete it, didn't back off, didn't nothing. And people were just ganging up on him, and to the point where it might even be a few thousand comments now. He screwed up, and I do believe he put out an apology video where he looked emotional. He looked as sincere as can be. I don't know if the apology came from a true place of sadness and realizing what he'd done, or realizing the effect this might have on his company. He should have known that from the beginning. That it really sucks. But I hope he learned his lesson. I really hope. I hate to see anyone's business get screwed over because of a lack of judgment at the moment. As far as Keone, like bravo to a young man to have the balls because that's a paycheck.
Yeah.
That's a paycheck that are hard to come by in this industry. Very hard to come by. People don't realize how few people are sponsored athletes. When I say sponsored, I mean getting a check, and a decent one. Um, just because you have a coupon code or you get a couple free jugs of protein, that's not sponsored. You're whoring yourself. Like that's not a. Um, if you're not getting a real check, you're not truly a sponsored athlete. And Keone was. So to give that up, God bless you, son. That was awesome.
Not only the paycheck, which is huge. I think he's 25, 26.
Yeah.
And, my assumption would be that this was a significant amount of money that he didn't have to hustle for other work. It at least covered his bills, which is huge. You're giving up your job. He's also parting ways with his coach.
Right.
That helped him place really well, right, at an Arnold.
Yeah. Well, I think this kid was going to be awesome if fucking John Candy could have prepped him, and he would have been just as good. That's not to say PJ's not good at what he does, whatever, but I think this kid will be just fine with whoever he's coached by. I think it was and I don't think he even meant to do this. I think it was significant activism, and it's showing a lot of other people. Like he's a special guy. He's not just a great physique, but he stands for something, and he's not going to allow that kind of talk, that kind of rhetoric in a place where he's going to be involved with. So that's awesome. And I'll tell you, when I was 25 or how old he is, if I was getting paid, it would have been very difficult for me to do something like that. So, I have a whole new respect for this kid. I look forward to meeting him. I don't think I've ever even really sat down and talked to him before. I've seen him in passing at a couple of the shows, but
We need to see if we can get him on here.
yeah, I'll reach
Especially
out
with
to
him
him.
moving into
I'm
212.
sure everyone's reaching out to him.
Yeah.
That's a whole nother topic in itself. But God bless the kid. I'm excited now, even more than ever, to see what happens. Who's going to reach out to him, who's going to pick him up, because someone will. And I think the future is limitless for him. And it was a good move. I think this gives him more respect within the industry, not just black or white, but just in general as a person. It showed a lot of
his stock
integrity.
went up. Obviously he's going to do very well in 212. He looks very impressive right now. But if I'm a guy that owns a supplement company, even the way that he chose to leave Blackstone Labs was incredibly respectful.
Yeah.
He could have made a video being very emotional and trashing PJ. And I don't think a lot of people would have been pissed at him, with the raw emotion of the moment of, here's what I have to say to PJ, I'm done, and just have it be a very raw video. But he didn't do that, which is so impressive, to bow out gracefully and say, I want to. Half the video was him thanking Blackstone and PJ, and just say, at this point we have a difference of opinions, and I need to go my own way. If I own a supplement company, his stock just went way up. He's going to place well. He's going to have an incredibly bright future. Absolutely going to be a top 5 guy in the very near future in the 212 division. And but now you have somebody that shows they have character, they have morals, and even when they have every right to drag your name through the gutter, they don't. They take the high ground and make a video. So I think he's more valuable. My hope for him is that whoever picks him up doubles whatever contract he had with PJ. It's going to be funny that
him. My biggest problem with these companies is they don't use the people. Yeah. They don't use them enough. Like I didn't see much of the kid and see him. I mean, you can. There's no magazines anymore, so you're not going to see him in ads. He should have been doing speaking engagements. Doing more interviews and just talking about himself and who he was and what he's doing and what he plans to do to represent this company and blah blah blah. All I've seen were some cool pictures of him. I never seen much about the man until
Right.
now.
Right.
And now I'm more excited for him than ever.
Yeah. So my thoughts on the whole PJ thing, we all have the First Amendment. We can say what we want, and others can disagree with it. I personally disagreed with what PJ had to say. We can say what we want, not end up in jail. However, that doesn't mean you're not going to have consequences. When you're talking about capitalism, and so I've always been a person. I don't believe in the whole cancel culture of, I need to start calling supplement stores and tell them, call Peter at A&C and say, look, if you want me to shop there, you better not carry Blackstone Labs. I think that's going too far. But I might not purchase any Blackstone Lab products, right? I can choose where my money's going to go. And I
never did to begin with.
What's that?
I said I never did. I don't know what they have that's, I don't know if they had something that was life-changing, maybe I would.
But the crazy thing to me, so all of that being said, right? Say what you want to say. Understand that in capitalism, there can be financial consequences for what you say, and just be okay with that. That could happen. But what I don't get is it's not like PJ was the first, with everything going on in this climate, the first to say something.
No.
In the last 2 weeks, look at how many people have been ousted from their company, right? There was the most current story.
Guy.
The CrossFit guy, right before, right? That's all you had to see, right? He's the founder of this company, built up CrossFit. He had to leave his own company for saying things probably not nearly as bad as PJ. So how are you, as PJ, going to come out and say, I hold my beer, I've got this guy beat, And so the crazy thing is that's what kind of tells me there's a few wires crossed there. Believe whatever you want to believe, but also know what's on the line. And when you have, there's plenty of guys I know from the gym that we go to that I look at their Facebook and they would share PJ's views, right? So those views didn't shock me. I see a lot of people on my Facebook feed posting similar things. It's sad. However, they've got nothing to lose. They're not going to get fired from their job as a Sinatra singer or a bricklayer, or there's just not a lot of consequences there. When you're the face of a global supplement company, of which a large percentage of people buying and using your products are African American, you kind of have to realize
it wasn't well thought out.
Yeah, exactly. So it's been clear over the last few weeks that if you say really insensitive things, there's going to be consequences. So on one end, if you have the balls to do it, I guess props to you, for what you believe in. I might not agree with it, but it's your right to say it. But you have to know there's going to be some consequences coming. I don't even know if this is the last of it for PJ. If give you an example in my world, in the guitar world. So a guy that makes high-end guitar pedals, made similar comments to PJ, and on his Facebook page. So somebody who was a fan of this guy's products wrote him an email and said, "Hey, look, I really like your products. I just feel like you were incredibly insensitive, and think of the other side, and think of the more compassionate thing to say." And so this guy's response back was, "You're not worthy of my products. And apparently you don't have a problem with looting. How about if I break into your house and steal all of your stuff and steal my pedals back because I don't want you as a customer," right? Like that was his response. This was I'm the alpha male here, how dare you question, and he one-upped it, right? Sort of PJ wasn't really backing down either after that first post. He put up another and another.
Yeah.
So this guy decided to double down, and the result was his largest account was Guitar Center. Guitar Center said, "We're not going to carry your pedals anymore," right? Hundreds of stores around the country that sold hundreds of his pedals, probably in each store each year, said, we're done. There's an online retailer for musical products called Reverb that's like eBay, but just for musical instruments. They said, we're no longer going to allow the sale of new pedals from this company. Done. So the only thing this guy can do now is sell to mom and pop stores and direct online. His two major spots of selling his pedals, done. So he's financially hurting. And it's like, was that worth it to you? To just get some anger out of your system of being angry at what you see on the news? That you lost millions of dollars in business? Like, really? And so there's lots of examples, I'm sure, in many industries at this point. So if you're the guy next week saying the next dumb thing, man, the blueprint's been laid out. You know,
Yeah.
you should know at this point what the consequences are.
Yeah, yeah. You know, that's why I'm very careful as to what I say, because, well, I'm not selling pedals or supplements but I'm selling my name. You know, I have a lot of friends in every country, origin, race, ethnicity, religion, and you have to be very careful. Now, you know me; I joke all the time about anything, but I'm always walking that line where if it's truly disrespectful, I'm not going to say it. That's my, you know, I think a little more than someone like PJ did. You know, and I think most people have to, right? Even if it's your opinion, you don't want to go hurting people's feelings. You don't want to, you know, get people charged up. You know, whatever. Keep it to yourself if that's truly how you feel.
You know, you and I talked about, I think, you know, there's always two sides to things that you can take. There's always something to be angry at, right?
Yeah.
You can pick any topic and you can find something to be angry about the situation. Or you can find things to be compassionate about, right? You can wake up each day and say, who am I going to be angry at? What am I going to do to let them know I'm angry? Start trolling people on Facebook, get in arguments with people. Or you can
I don't
say,
know those people.
yeah. Or you can say, what can I do to make one person's life better today? What can I do to make the world better? Whatever, in any small step, right? Just being caring to people that you come into contact with. If somebody seems a little off, stopping to say, hey, how are you doing? Are you okay? You know, with all this stuff going on, you know, being a musician, most of the bands that I play in, I'm the one white guy in the band. And so just little things of, I'm not being affected by what's going on currently, but I know people that are really, really close to me are, and it's opening up a lot of wounds, old wounds for them. So just little texts of texting somebody and saying, hey man, how are you holding up? You know, just that compassion. We're not talking about any of the issues, right? Even if I somehow had a differing opinion on stuff, it's just on a human level, right? I can either spend my energy trolling people on Facebook who have differing opinions from me, of which I could do that all day.
Right.
Or I can take that same amount of time and text somebody and check on their mental health with the pandemic going on, with you know, everything else going on in the country, and say, how are you holding up? Right? To me, that's a better half an hour of my time than trolling somebody that doesn't agree with me and having to prove that my side is right. So I have to catch myself. You know, there's plenty of times I scroll on Facebook and I see something really ignorant and I feel the need to want to educate them or correct them or, but most of these people, they're just looking for a reaction. They're looking for a fight. And
Sometimes I'll type a response and not post it.
Yeah.
Just so I feel better. I got it out of my system.
Yeah. So I have to remind myself, like, what's a better use of my time? And am I making anybody's life better by posting that comment? No. I'll have discussions with people in person. You and I have talked about lots of these things before in person where I can learn from you, you can learn from me. That's not going to happen on a Facebook post.
No.
You know, and so I think there's just two ways to wake up each morning and say, do I want to try and do good with whatever I can in my life, or do I want to take shots at people all day? And right now, there's too many people out there just trying to take shots at people and prove they're right, win their argument, whatever that is. And that's to me kind of the root of PJ making these posts, right? Like it doesn't do any good. Making that post just angered a lot of people. When I'm sure he could have been doing from the time that he made that first post until his apology video, how many days, how many hours went by where he could have been doing something more productive for his company, more productive for his family, for society. All this time's wasted, for a couple stupid thoughts that he had.
And now he's going to spend more time trying to correct this.
Yep.
Well, I wish him luck. I wish Keone luck. I think we beat this one enough.
All right.